My husband brought a Ouija board home, and it changed our lives forever. Connor and I had always been horror fans. Since I was little, I've been fascinated by everything macabre, bloody, forbidden. Almost everything's fine, almost. Connor knows perfectly well, I have just one rule for Halloween: no clowns, and absolutely no Ouija boards. Not in the house, not in the yard, not in the woods behind our home. But apparently, even though I've repeated it since we started dating, that was too hard to understand. "Honey, I'm home," Connor said, tossing his keys into the bowl by the door. "Welcome," I answered from the couch. "You'll never guess what I won at work today." My heart sank in my chest the moment I saw him turn the corner. No, get that out of my house," I said, pointing at the door. His expression changed. The Ouija board dangled from his hand. "But I thought it would be fun, just this once." I looked him dead in the eyes, furious. "Connor, you know what I think about those things. I had a horrible experience when I was a kid. Please, listen to me. Take it out of this house. I don't want that thing anywhere near me." Connor sighed. "All right, you win. I'll put it back in the truck." And he disappeared down the hallway. I took my wine glass and had a long sip. I love him, but God, does he know how to test my patience. The next day, we were both off work. He was meeting up with his friends, and I with mine. I didn't know what he was going to do, and I trusted him. I wish I hadn't, because that night, his decision changed our lives forever. Connor came home around 3 in the morning. The kids were staying at their grandparents' house, so we were alone. I thought that when he got into bed, we could have a little intimate moment. I couldn't have been more wrong. I was already lying down when I heard the front door open. Then, the sound of footsteps climbing the stairs. He was walking slowly, trying not to make noise. I appreciated the gesture. I thought he was trying not to wake me up, but now I know that wasn't it. The footsteps stopped right outside the bedroom door. I heard a faint sound, like he was pacing back and forth. I waited for him to open the door and appear with that dumb little smile of his, but he didn't. I wanted to call out to him or turn on the lamp, but something inside me told me not to. I had this feeling that if I looked away from the door for even a second, something terrible would happen. I don't know how long I stayed there, in the dark, lit only by my phone's light, and then it happened. The doorknob started to turn, the door creaked open, and I could see his silhouette standing in the doorway. He didn't say a word. He just walked to the bed, took off his shoes, and crawled under the covers, turning his back to me. It all happened so fast, I couldn't even react. "Honey, are you okay?" No response. He just nodded slightly. I stared at him, waiting for him to say something. Nothing. Still as a statue. Only when I heard him snore did I finally relax a little. I convinced myself he was drunk. His friends always drank a lot when they hung out. That comforted me. Until the next morning. I woke up and his side of the bed was empty. The smell of bacon came from the kitchen. He must be hung over, I thought. I walked slowly to the kitchen. He was standing there, back turned, cooking pancakes. "Good morning," he said, without turning around. "Good morning. You want to explain what happened last night?" He turned, frowning. "What do you mean? What do you mean what? You came into the room acting weird, didn't say a word, and slept in your clothes." Connor laughed. "I don't even remember. Guess I was more drunk than I thought." I exhaled. "That's what I figured. How was your night?" "Good. We drank a lot and played with the Ouija board I won. Don't worry, I left it at Mike's place." My stomach dropped. "And did you guys talk to anyone?" I asked, throat dry. For a minute we thought so, but I think it was Aaron moving the planchette. It said we were talking to someone named Mr. Pip. Such nonsense. A cold sweat ran through my body. That name. No, it couldn't be. "No," I whispered, holding my head. "Not again." All week I watched him without pause. Every gesture, every look, every word. Nothing. The only weird thing was one afternoon he spent like an hour in the bathroom, but that turned out to be Taco Bell's fault from lunch. Nothing supernatural there. A week went by. Everything seemed normal, and I started convincing myself it had all been a false alarm, but I should have known. I should have paid more attention. That Monday, after a long, exhausting shift, I came home ready to open a bottle of wine and watch a romantic comedy. "I'm home," I shouted, kicking off my shoes by the door. No answer. That was strange. Connor's car was in the driveway, and the kids should have been home. I turned the corner into the kitchen, and my heart froze. There were Alice and Tommy, sitting at the table, pale as paper. That Monday, after a long day at work, I came home and found him sitting on the couch watching TV. "Hey honey," I said, dropping my bag. But he didn't answer. He just kept staring at the screen, completely still. I walked closer and touched his shoulder. He slowly turned toward me, and I swear to God his eyes were completely black. I immediately stepped back. "Connor, are you okay?" He blinked a couple of times, and suddenly his eyes were normal again. "What's wrong?" he asked, like nothing had happened. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "Your eyes, they were black, completely black." He frowned, confused. Must have been the light, babe. You're seeing things. But it wasn't the light. I saw it. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I remembered that empty stare. No pupils, no soul, like something else was looking out from inside him. And then around 3 in the morning, I heard it. A dull thud coming from the hallway. Another, and another. I carefully got up and walked outside the bedroom. The house was silent, but the air felt heavy. When I reached the end of the hall, I saw him. Connor was standing in front of the basement door, naked, his head tilted to one side, whispering something I couldn't understand. "Connor," I whispered. Suddenly, he snapped his head toward me, with a tense, forced smile. "He's here," he said in a voice that wasn't his. "What? What's here?" My blood turned to ice. That name again. "Connor, please, come back to bed. This isn't funny." But he didn't move. He just kept repeating the same name, louder and louder. "Mr. Pip, Mr. Pip, Mar, please." The sound echoed through the walls. I screamed his name, but he kept going, until suddenly, he collapsed to the floor, unconscious. I dragged him to the couch, shaking, not knowing what to do. His skin was cold. He was breathing, but his eyes twitched under his eyelids like he was dreaming, or fighting something. I spent the rest of the night sitting beside him, lights on. Next day, the next morning, when he woke up, he didn't remember a thing. He said he'd fallen asleep watching TV, and didn't understand why I was so freaked out. I tried to tell him everything, but he just said he needed rest. I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to go to his friend Mike's house, the one with the board. Mike opened the door looking hungover. "Hey, what's up? I need to know where that board is," I blurted out. He scratched his head. "Connor took it, said he wanted to show it to you so you could get over your trauma." I froze. What day was that?" Last Friday, I think." My heart started pounding so hard I had to grab the door frame. I ran back home. When I opened the door, everything was dark. The air was thick, like someone had burned incense, or something worse. "Connor," I whispered. No answer. I climbed the stairs, one step at a time, and then I heard it again. That voice, a low, muffled laugh coming from the bedroom. I pushed the door open with a shaking hand, and there it was, the Ouija board, on the bed, the planchette moving on its own. The letters lit up one by one, as if someone invisible was writing. "I told you I'd come back." I screamed and threw the board against the wall. It broke in two, but the laughter didn't stop. Behind me, Connor appeared in the doorway, with that same empty smile. "Why did you do that, honey?" His voice sounded distorted, doubled, like two people speaking at once. "Because that board is cursed," I yelled. "You need to get rid of it." He tilted his head. "But babe, Mr. Pip lives here now." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "What did you just say?" I whispered, stepping back. Connor smiled, but it wasn't his smile. He said he likes this place, that we should stay, all three of us. A chill ran down my spine. "Connor, please, don't say that." He took a step toward me. His skin was pale, almost gray, his eyes. Then the ceiling light began to flicker, and the lights went out. Total darkness. I could only hear my own breathing, and something else, a whisper, right behind me. "Hello, little one." I turned around fast, but there was no one there, and when I looked back toward Connor, he was gone. The board, broken on the floor, started to vibrate. The pieces moved on their own, forming words from the leftover letters. "Let him in." I screamed his name. "Connor, where are you?" I ran through the house, turning on lights, but they all flickered and went out instantly. The air grew cold, so cold I could see my breath. And then I saw him, standing in the hallway, naked again, head tilted back, his body shaking, like something was trying to get out or get in. Connor, his eyes snapped open, black, soulless, and with a deep, distorted voice that wasn't human, he said, "He's already here." The lights exploded. Something slammed me against the wall. I couldn't move. The air grew thick and heavy, and a loud buzzing filled my ears. Connor slowly walked toward me. I tried to speak, but no sound came out, only tears. He knelt in front of me, and with that monstrous smile whispered, "Shoo, Mr. Pip wants to see you." I woke up in the hospital. They said they found me unconscious on the floor, covered in dust and with cuts on my arms. The police said there was no one else in the house, no Connor, no board, just the smell of smoke and black marks on the floor, like something had burned there. It's been 3 weeks since that night. I've been staying with my parents. I try to sleep, but every time I close my eyes, I hear him, that laugh, that damned laugh behind the door. Sometimes I swear I hear footsteps in the hallway. Sometimes the doorknob moves, and every time I wake up, the mirror in my room has the same words written in dust, "Let him in." I don't know if Connor's still alive, but I know something is, and it's looking for me. If you listen to all this, I want to ask you something. Would you let your partner use a Ouija board at home? Have you ever felt like something messed with your family? Tell me your story in the comments. I want to read it, and if you want more real stories like this one, subscribe to the channel, hit like, and turn on the bell. You have no idea what's coming next, and trust me, You don't want to miss it. Until next time, if Mr. Pip lets me sleep tonight.